Hello, my name is Ilona and today I'm going to look at March, the energy of March. This is a new setting and I'm capable of doing that because in my usual videos I use the laptop, to look at certain articles. And obviously I'm not capable of really reaching my laptop right now. And in this case I don't have to because I'm just looking at the energy of the month. So I thought it would be interesting as an experiment. Let me know what you think of it. Maybe I'll do it more often with the month readings because now you can actually see the cards. I will of course show them as well because they're a little further away. But these are the cards. Of course, I've shuffled the cards in my Dutch video. If you want to see that, you can watch my Dutch video to see the card shuffling. The first three cards are the energy of the month, and we have the Queen of Wands. We've got the Chariot, and we have the Six of Swords. And this is the energy of the month, and this tells me that, especially with, of course, the Queen of Wands, that's usually for me a white hat card, there is going to be much more white hat influences, especially from America, but just worldwide. We're just going to see them really take off, taking control in a way, or taking it in a certain direction. But this is also a card of taking back control, going towards a certain direction and leaving things behind. This is interesting because both these cards, so both the Chariot and the Six of Swords, are leaving things behind. So in March we really are starting to move away from the old. Certain direction, I do believe, and I've shared, of course, about a video where a Hollywood scriptwriter is explaining the third act of this so-called movie, that we are working towards something. And I think March is really going to set the stage as well. I believe March, April, May are going to be quite tough, still tough months ahead of us. We'll have to wait and see, but I do believe that, of course, people are still waiting for this specific event. The certain letter in the alphabet has been mentioning this, and I do think we're working towards it, and I hope it will happen, of course, this year. I do feel so, but again, time is very difficult to tell. But I have, I just feel that this new energy, so much is changing now, especially with Mr. T back in the White House. You can see things changing. At least that's what I'm seeing and sensing in the energy. So trust that. Trust, in a way, the process. And of course, there are other things that we can do that will be in this card reading as well. But the first three cards is really telling me that March is going to be very interesting with white hats taking over, leading to a certain direction, heading towards something. We see things happening in the Ukraine. We see things also happening in the Middle East. And of course with NATO, the European Union, so many things are happening, and I think it's going to be very, very interesting what is going on there. So we'll just have to wait and see, but this is interesting, so to speak. So these are the three cards for the energy. These are the three cards for the challenge, the blocks, the blockades that we're run into as humanity in March, of course. And on an individual level, we've got the Devil card, we have the Queen of Swords, and we have the Two of Swords. And this is very interesting. So this is the challenge that we're facing, and the challenge really is facing our own, dark side, our shadow work. This is really something I'm emphasizing all the time. We need to really get in touch with ourselves, know ourselves, really dig deep into ourselves, because it's important to really excavate everything that we still carry with us, because that will be, reflected in the world around us. If we balance ourselves, we of course balance the world around us, and it's very important to see, and also to see what is going on. It will be a challenge for a lot of people that are not, of course, fully understanding what is going on. It will be very challenging for them and scary in a way for them to see through this, to use their own discernment and to use their own intuition, because that will be a big, big challenge for people in March. To what is real, what is true, even in the people that are already aware of what is going on and all the manipulation. It can be still sometimes be very confusing. And this is really about, you see here the Two of Swords, someone with a blindfold for her eyes, so she can't really see. And she has water behind her, and it's very important to, you know, connect with your intuition, with your soul, with God, to really understand what is going on. But you need to, of course, work through your own issues if you want to do that. You know, deal with things inside of yourself and not get confused all the time by things outside of yourself. But it's going to be very challenging, especially for the people that are not completely understanding what is going on. It's going to be frightening, obviously, and especially with all these narratives from the media. Here in the Netherlands, Mr. T is still an awful person on the Dutch, you know, mainstream media here, and people are still discussing it. And it's really, if you look at it, you're like, this is awful. But that's because, you know, people in this community understand what is going on. But for someone that is just sitting at home watching the television and thinking that this is all real and that Mr. P is awful and doing all these awful things, because really they just emphasize or twist things and manipulate them in all kinds of ways, it's really shocking to see. And unfortunately, still a lot of people that are still following that, and it will be confusing for them. That's the challenge also, to trust your own intuition, the Two of Swords, and to use your own discernment with the Queen of Swords to really cut through all the things that don't fit you anymore. And of course, deal with your own shadow work. The more you are connected with your own energies, the less you can be manipulated. And then we'll get to the advice for March. Then we have the Empress. We have the Justice card for the advice of March. And we have the Four of Pentacles. And this is really about bringing back balance. You see here the scale, and of course justice is about bringing balance, and it's so important, the advice, to really connect with yourself, to connect with the sacred feminine energy that's been pushed around, suppressed by the dark energies. I do believe if you really look at the dark energies, they are mostly focused on the more toxic side of the masculine energy, you know, the rational side, only the intellect, but also the cold intellect. Because obviously there's nothing wrong with the masculine power in itself. If it's in balance, it's balanced with the feminine energy. And so it's a combination of the heart and the mind. But especially with the dark energies, if you look at how they react and how they respond to things, they've completely suppressed, in a way, their feminine side. The emotions, the heart, the contact with feelings and understanding that as well. It's completely suppressed, pushed to the side, or it's used as like a munition in certain agendas to use against other people to, you know, get them in line in a certain way of thinking. So it's all used in a way. And like I said, the masculine side, they've used mostly the more toxic side of the masculine energy. And that's unfortunate, obviously, but it's up to us now to bring that also back into balance, because then we're going to see that happening. They need our energy. That's why it's so important with the Four of Pentacles that we take back our energy and use it for really our own way of thinking, what we really want to manifest in this world. They need our energy to manifest things. They are not capable of that anymore, because they shut themselves off. They really truly think that they can do it all by themselves without God, and that in essential they are God. It's very shocking. They're completely disconnected from the source, and that's how they see things. And also they think the feminine energy is needs to be suppressed. It's too much for them. They don't know how to deal with it. So it's up to us to bring everything in balance. That will be the advice, to take back our energies, use it for what we really want to put out in this world, so they won't be able to use it anymore. They won't be able to use it against us. And if you really take back your energy, they won't be able to manipulate you. And like I said, they'll starve. They won't have any energy to create their agendas. That's why they need us to create the agendas for them. So this is very important. So this is the advice. And then we have the last three cards. That's the energy at the end of March. We've got the Fool. We've got the Tower. And we've got the Four of Wands. So I do believe that we are finally also starting to see, at least energetically, like a new beginning. That's the Fool card. But things are falling apart. That's the Tower card. And I do believe we are really watching the old falling apart. We've been watching it for a while now, but it's really taking off now. Especially if you look at the States, you know, the American, USA, United States of America. That's what I was looking for. You can see it falling apart and so much is coming out. It's going to be very, very interesting the next coming months. And we are also working towards a certain event. I do believe something massive will happen on a very large scale. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure if it's going to happen in March or April or May. We just don't know. Time is very difficult to tell, but we do know something's going to happen. And of course, for the people that are already aware of this, it's less frightening than for the people that just starting to figure things out or haven't figured out anything yet till now. But things are falling apart, and this opens up a new beginning. So we're energetically already going to sense that. To be very honest, I'm already sensing that the energy is already so different than a year ago. It feels very different. People are getting back together, connecting back together again, and I think that is very important at the end of March. And there could be tough situations happening that connect people, but it's really about bringing humanity back together again. It's all necessary to get them in a way all on the same page. Like I mentioned in that video about that Hollywood scriptwriter, they're trying to connect these different audiences and get them all in, you know, looking in the same way. We'll have to wait and see. I do believe that there will be people that will not want to have anything to do with this and will remain and choose their own timeline in a way, because I think timelines are connected to your frequency. So we'll have to wait and see what's really going to happen in that way. But I do believe more and more people are starting to realize this. There are all kinds of stages, phases people go through. And of course you have the people that have been working with this for so long, and then people just starting. But it's connecting people. Humanity is finally starting to understand what's really been going on and who's really being behind all the manipulations. But it will take time, but it's already starting. And like I said, March is going to be a very important month. The white hats are going to show themselves more and more, and the direction is taken. We're taking off, we're leaving things behind, and the old is falling apart. But we need to do our part. We need to balance the shadow work and the light work in ourselves. We need to balance the sacred male masculine energy and the sacred feminine energy in us, because we all have it, male, female, we all have those energies. We need to balance them out, because if we balance it, use our energies for ourselves, we really start creating this new beautiful world that we're really looking forward to. So I'd like to leave it at this. I want to thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye!